Alright guys, this is my Synthesized Requiem Koa'ki Meiru build, version 2. 3 Reborn Tengu, 3 Koa'ki Meiru Urnite, 3 Koa'ki Meiru Crusader, 3 Naturia Cliff, 1 Grand Mole, 3 Koa'ki Meiru Guardian, 3 Max C, Gores, 2 Forbidden Lance, 2 Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru, 2 Pot of Duality, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Mind Control, Dark Hole, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Trap Dust Shoot, Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Warning, and 2 Fiendish Chain. So we want to go over a couple of real quick rulings about Koa'ki Meiru for people who are not used to the deck. We'll start off with the Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru. Just something to remember on that card. You can add this to your hand instead of conducting your draw phase. So you don't draw a card during your draw phase, and you can add this to your hand. Or instead, you can pitch any Koa'ki Meiru monster from your hand to add it to from your hand to the grave, to add the core to your hand. So that way, if you don't want to skip your draw, you can still get the core. You can only add 1 Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru to your hand from the grave during your draw phase. If you have more than 1 Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru in the grave, you still can only add 1. They would all trigger at the same time. Instead of drawing, you would activate the effective Iron Core. They would all activate at the same time, but you can only get 1, and it'd be the last one that resolves. So if your opponent decides to randomly DD Crow it or whatever, then not only do you not get to draw, but you don't get the core, because you already activated the effect to add an Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru to your hand. Real cool thing about Crusader, and I love this card, 1900 attack, crashes with Thunder King. And something to remember about Crusader, he does not have to send the monster to the graveyard. He just has to destroy by battle. So you can run over Dandelion tokens, Goat tokens, any kind of tokens. You can crash into Thunder King, and his effect will still resolve. The real cool thing about Crusader is that if you already have a Koa'ki Meiru target in the grave, for instance, you have the core in the grave, or you have a random Koa'ki Meiru monster, you can summon your Crusader, attack their Thunder King, they both die, Crusader's effect will activate, and he can grab himself. That's especially important if you don't have a Beast Warrior in hand, but you have Urnite on the field, and you need a Beast Warrior to keep him alive. So it's a real quick thing to know about that. 2 Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru, and that's because the Vobble Chain will send that to the grave for you. So 3 is just too much, especially when you can practically search it with the Exceed Vobble Chain. But there's a lot of cards that I'm not running. I'm not running Koa'ki Meiru Boulder. I'm not running Core Transport Unit. I'm not running Urgent Synthesis or Koa'ki Meiru Initialize or Reckon Power, or a lot of the other Koa'ki Meiru themed cards. And that's because I don't think they're necessary. I think the more generic cards get the job done. 3 Reborn Tengu and 3 Naturia Cliff. Naturia Cliff keeps your Guardian alive because it's a rock, and Reborn Tengu keeps your Urnite and your Crusader alive because it's Beast Warrior, and that's why they're in there. These essentially work the same. It's deck thinning. They're floaters, so you can keep. They allow you to go aggressive against your opponent when you don't have the Iron Core, or you don't have the Koa'ki Meiru monsters to go off or use their effects or anything. Or if you just want to conceal what you're playing, you can just summon the Tengu. They think you're playing plants or whatever. Cliff, they think you're playing some randy bad deck, and then you drop the Tengu next to the Cliff, and you just stall that way. So when they die, you get another one. They die, you get another one. And one of the things I like to do is I stall with the Tengu, stall with the Cliff, and then when I'm ready to go off, I can use my last Tengu, my last Cliff, overlay for the Vobble Chain, search my Iron Core. If I already have my Iron Core, I can put my Urnite on top of my deck so I can go off the following turn. I can go into Utopia, 2500 beat stick, or I can make Meiru. If they're sitting on the Sangin, I can kick the Sangin back to the deck, which is super hot. I can exceed for Emerald, you know, I can detach one of my guys, I can throw back my Tengus, draw a card, throw back, you know, some of my Koa'ki Meiru monsters, so I can start over my Swarm again. You know, just so useful. I mean, I found this idea came to me one day to run these guys as floaters, and it was just awesome. So in the comment section, let me guys know what you think about the deck. I believe that the deck is extremely competitive. Remember that this is for DN. As it stands, the deck isn't that competitive for the TCG because we lack the good OCG XYZs, a bunch of alphabets there. And so if you would like to see a tutorial about some of the combos that I've been using, be sure to like the video. If I get 200 likes, then I'll just do a couple quick demonstrations about how to set up and how to go into the exceeds and show some of the win conditions that you can set up with the deck. Alright, DUBKDAD, Team DKF, and I'm out.